Thank you. So just to introduce myself a little bit, my name is Jennifer Jury, and I enjoyed working as an elementary classroom teacher for over 10 years before becoming a Microsoft Learning Consultant. I've earned an early childhood and elementary bachelor's as well as a master's of education in educational leadership. So how I really fell in love with the inclusive classroom and these Microsoft tools was with my urban education background and working with EL students. Plus, my own daughter, my oldest, has dyslexia and ADHD combination. So this has been something that has been near and dear to my heart for a long time. So hopefully today I can show you a lot of practical uses for the suite of Microsoft learning tools, and you will be able to take a few things away, especially given this time of online learning. So here's my contact information if you have any questions afterwards or would like additional information. My email is jennifer.jury@usmie.com. Oh, looks like a comma. I'll have to fix that, but it's .com. And my Twitter handle is jenniferjury9. I like to post a lot of things about the new they've put out so much new resources lately for teachers. So if you're looking for what's new in Microsoft, please follow me and my LinkedIn account. So like I said earlier, today we're going to talk about Immersive Reader. I'll give you a little bit of history, benefits. We're going to model all the features for you. We're going to talk about the availability across the Microsoft products. We'll look at OneNote, how it's built in there, and a couple of the other accessibility features. Then we'll move to Flipgrid, Translator, and then Presentation Translator. 1.5 children in the United States have learning and attention issues such as dyslexia and attention deficit disorder. Yes.
We're not seeing your presentation.
Oh, I am so glad you stopped me. Thank you. Okay, let me go back in, and when I put the video, I may have stopped sharing. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Let me just make sure. I want to make sure. Okay, so we're going to go in here. All right, how about now?
That's perfect. Thank you.
All right, let me back up a second. Here's my information. Just so you know, this entire PowerPoint deck has been loaded to the chat. So if you look under Files, you will see this PowerPoint presentation there, and all this information's there for you. So if there's something you want to go back and refer to later. So about 15% of Americans are thought to have dyslexia. So we know as classroom teachers, we have so many kids coming to us with so many different needs. And Microsoft has really, I feel like, done a really nice job with trying to meet the children where they're at. So in 2015, a dozen Microsoft engineers entered an employee hackathon. They wanted to design a new learning tool to improve accessibility and create reading assistance tools in Windows. With input from the Microsoft Advanced Reading Technologies team, the team of engineers beat over 3,000 teams to win the hackathon. Immersive Reader was born. In January of 2016, Immersive Reader was launched. Today, more than 13 million people worldwide are using these learning tools. So here's a video I like to show.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes. Well, they knew how to read, and I didn't.
I will never be good at reading. I will probably be held back again.
It highlights the words to know where I am. When it's reading, I see spaces between the words, and it's easy to focus on. The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. Good job, Joey.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
Every time I show that video, I get a little smile because you can see the kids' body language at the beginning of the video and then the change and transformation afterwards. And I think that as teachers, that's what we want for all of our students. So some of the features we're going to see today in Immersive are going to help those, or what's helping those students. We have a picture dictionary, which also can be dual language and be bilingual, enhanced dictation, line focus, parts of speech. We're going to do math read aloud, and this is available for translation with 60 languages. So I've built a OneNote I want to share with you to show you how Immersive Reader works. So what you want to look for is you're going to see this book with the speaker. Anytime you see this across all of Microsoft products, it means that you have access to Immersive Reader. Where you find this is under View. So if we go at home, it looks like our classic, almost like a Word doc, but we're going to go over here to View, and that's where you're going to find the Immersive Reader feature. So we're going to use this article to highlight the features in Immersive Reader. So here we are at the bottom, we have play, and it will just simply read it as is.
Read the beginning of the story. The story has no middle and
If we go over here, we have some settings. We can change the voice speed. We can change if it's a female or male reading it. I like this voice speed because sometimes, especially if you have an English language learner or other impairments, sometimes they just need it slowed down for them. I also think this would be very helpful for middle and high school students who are learning another language for practice. Up here, we have 3 more options that we can enrich this text with. So if we look up here, we can enhance the size. We can increase or decrease spacing. These 3 fonts are approved by the Dyslexia Association. They are called sans serif fonts, and Microsoft developed Sitka for this application specifically. Here are what we refer to as the Erlang colors. The Erlang colors are such a powerful and simple tool. 50% of children with reading and learning attention problems benefit from using Erlang color overlays. Even the PowerPoint I presented today, I kept in mind these colors. So what we have found with these is that they make print stable, easy to see, and even 12 to 14% of good to gifted readers find it helpful too. It helps them to focus, it reduces eye strain and fatigue. And with today's online learning, that's a big deal. Over 54 research papers in peer-reviewed journals have significant changes in reading rate, accuracy, and comprehension when using the Erlang colors. The beautiful thing I love about this is it is built in. There's nothing you have to add. It's free and it's accessible to all students. So no child has to ask for it. It is there, it is available to them, and your high children can use it as well as any other children with a need. So that accessibility and personalization of it makes it a really wonderful tool in this day and age. So in the middle, we have yet more options. I love this as a lower L teacher where you can turn on the syllables and it shows you the breaks in the syllables. And it will not change how it's read, but
no
it's
end.
really great.
It is up to you to write what happens next.
And helping the students see the breaks in the words. Here you can turn on nouns. Maybe you're doing a writing with students and you want to highlight adjectives. And ask, you're in your creative writing, having students include so many adjectives. Well, they can check here their writing to see if those adjectives were included. You can have them labeled or not labeled. Then what I think is really special about this program is over here, we have a couple things that I think are great teaching tools when you're presenting. You can have line focus. You can have 3-line focus. You can have 5-line focus. I don't have enough text up right now to have the full 5 lines. Then we have a picture dictionary that's built in. So if I click on the word story, it will read it to me.
Story.
And it will give me a picture for that. Now, if I turn on by word, right now I have Chinese chosen, there are 60 languages here to choose from. Even within Chinese, you have several different options. So you can really tailor it to your children's needs. But if I turn on by word, that picture dictionary now becomes a bilingual dictionary. So I'll have the English
Story.
and the Chinese
继续
with the picture. So I think that can be so powerful. Then you also can translate the entire document. And it will read it to them. Let me close this so you can see a little better.
当我年轻的时候，像4、5岁，我曾经有这些惊人的梦想。
So then you can revert back to the original. So this is such a great tool on so many levels because you can send something home, and if you've shown your families how to use Immersive Reader, it becomes a translation tool, it becomes a dictionary. It's so much more than just reading to the students. I want to show you how it is built in to different products in Microsoft. So currently I'm in an Edge browser. And again, you'll see that book with the speaker. And you want to, anytime you see that, you have full access to Immersive Reader. What I like is using this for presentations. So when I click this and go into Immersive Reader for this article, you're going to see everything on the sides disappear. And I'm going to just get a nice, clean article, which I think is so wonderful when you're presenting to a class to not have to worry about something popping up that you may not want. And I think it also is less distracting to the students. So we all have students that have focus issues. This can be really powerful to get them engaged. So it's a little bit different. You have everything across the top. You have your read aloud, you have your text preferences, your grammar tools, and your reading preferences here with your line and your translate. With your read aloud,
Ever wondered about the science behind?
one of the fun things that's in here is you have voice options, and you can choose all these different types of voice to read your story, which could be such a fun thing to do if you're maybe reading Tommy DePaulo's Strigonona and it's taking place in Italy, and you want the mother's voice to sound Italian. So you could add an Italian sounding voice. Listen to this.
Being bread. Learn about the microbes that help Stati Uniti make bread with an easy and...
So you could just have some fun with it with storytelling and try the different voices and just add a little bit of fun to students learning. So it's so wonderful here what you have available to you. Let's go back to that notebook. I'm going to give you a few more examples. So here's some examples of the translations and how it will look when you put them into different articles. In here in OneNote, I want to show you something else. It's back in the here, insert. No, it was in home. Right here, it was hiding on me. So some of our students need visual cues, and here's something called tags. So you can add tags to, if this is plant cells study test for Friday, and I want to mark that as important so my students recognize it, I'm going to click right here where I want it. Then I'm going to pick important, and it's going to highlight a code for them. So I know over the years, sometimes we've had to put things on students' desks or give visual cues or reminders. You can use these tags for that, and you can even create specific tags. So if that is something, a great visual tool for kids while we're here. I want to let you know Immersive Reader is built into Microsoft Forms, but I want to show you, we're going to go to Forms, the full version over here. We're signing in. All right, so again, anytime you see that book with the speaker, you have access, but I want you to be aware when you open that, you cannot answer the question in Immersive Reader. It's going to send you back to the main form. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Press play. Again, I have all those features in here of translation.
1. Why does Henry think Mudge needs to go to school? 20 points. To make friends. To learn how to behave. To take naps. End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
So it directs the students back to closing the reader to go back and answer that, but it's just something you might want to go over with your students just to make them aware of it. And we're going to look at our math and how Immersive Reader is even built into math. So here, let me make this a little bit bigger for you to see everything. So you can, oh, I know that's a little too big. All right. So in here, you can use text or you can use inking. Then you're going to go to draw and you'll see this math tool at the end. If I click on that, it's going to take my inking and create a text of it. If it did it correctly, great. You don't need to do anything else. If you need to fix it, you have that option. Then you can select an action. We're going to solve for X. Well, it will show you the steps. And then Immersive Reader is also built in here as well, and it will read it in the correct math terminology that a math teacher would. If students needed more practice, this will generate 3 practice questions for them. So you have a lot of tools that Immersive Reader is built into in accessibility. We're going to take a look at that now. I'm going to give you access to this as well as other Microsoft resources. So you will have access to this OneNote so that you can play around with the samples and try Immersive Reader. I will leave all of this with you as a takeaway today. So if we go back here into our PowerPoint, we've looked at those features. Just want to go over some of the benefits that have been shown, and I'm going to leave you with some case studies that you can look at later. But we've seen an increased fluency for English language learners, confidence building, text to coding increasing, and with the multiple languages, it's just been such a big benefit. Here are several case studies. You also have a lot of help in the Microsoft Education Center if you're looking for more information. So Microsoft Education Center is a free resource to teachers. I have a link to it on the last slide, and they have a lot of courses if you wanted to learn more about Immersive Reader, you wanted to learn more about the inclusive tools, you want more on dyslexia awareness. Here are 2 more courses you could take. So here are some of the Microsoft learning tools and where you're going to find them available. So you can see we were just in OneNote and what you have as options. You see it in Outlook, in Word documents, in Flipgrid, and that's where we'll be going next. Whiteboard, Forms, Minecraft, Office Lens. You have it built into all of these. This graph is maintained. So you can go back, it's growing all the time, more and more things are being built into it. So this will be upheld. So as we talk about Flipgrid, an Immersive Reader, Flipgrid has really done a great job with inclusion and online learning and being aware of what's going on in education with so many of us shifting to online learning. And in August, they have a ton of new features, and they've been paired with Made by Dyslexia. So they're going to tell you about that.
Working with dyslexic kiddos is awesome because it's made me a better teacher and it's made me look for ways to help them be even better readers.
Every day I am inspired by getting to work with dyslexic learners. They're creative, they're innovative, they're good problem solvers, they're hard workers.
Seeing their eyes light up when they get something that previously may have been difficult for them really brings great joy.
And that creativity can just make a classroom so much more fun.
Each brings a unique way of thinking.
You have to challenge yourself to be different, to see they're different.
If given the right instruction, they are unstoppable.
Hi there, I'm Kate Griggs from Made by Dyslexia. We're a global charity and we exist to help the world properly understand, value and support dyslexic students. Dyslexia is a brilliant, creative, fantastic way of thinking that we know from our research is vital for the workforce of the future. So we've partnered with Microsoft to produce some free online training films that will help every single teacher to spot, support and empower their dyslexic students. We've also created some fabulous contents for kids with some very inspirational interviews with successful and celebrity dyslexics. And we are super excited to announce that all of our content is going to be made available on the Flipgrid Discovery Library. We really hope you'll be able to use the content to enable and empower every dyslexic student to reach their potential. Thank you so much.
So I just looked yesterday and I didn't see it up yet. They sneak stuff on early, but my understanding is that's August 1st, all of that will be made available. Before I go too much further, were there any questions with Immersive Reader? I'm going to sneak back to our chat and just stop. Okay, so we had a couple questions over here in our chat. Is the program used for only OneNote? No, it is not. You can look at that chart. It is available in other Microsoft products. Okay, so with Chromebook, here's the thing with Chromebook. As much as you cannot download OneNote, if you go through office.com, all of OneNote, all of those tools are available through the browsers. So your students can access any of those Microsoft products through office.com. They don't need to download anything, and it will all be free with their student email. I'm just reading through this. So when you're creating a survey and you use the rating, is there a way to make a sample of 3 questions that fall into one? We can address that question a little bit later with automatic, okay. Immersive Reader, there is for Google Classroom, there is a third party that, with Microsoft's permission, that developed an extension, an add-on of Immersive Reader. I can get a link to that and pop it in the chat later. So there is a workaround for Google Classroom. Yes, like I said, there's a third party that created an extension for Immersive Reader that you can add to it. Anything else? All right, we're going to go and now take a look at Flipgrid. So before we begin with Flipgrid, I just want to show you a couple things. One of the things you're going to hear with Flipgrid is voice, empowering voice. And so what is that voice that they're referring to? Student voice is in education is referred to as the values, opinions, beliefs, perspective, cultural backgrounds of individual students or groups of students in school, and to instructional approaches and techniques that are based on those students' choices, interests, and passions. So one of the things that is so cool about Flipgrid is that you really get a connection with your students. Because your students are responding and they can't just sit quietly in the back of the room and they need to, respond to the assignments or the discussion questions you put out. You have this unique way of getting to know your students, of getting to see their interests, what their personality is like, and it really gives teachers a way to make connections with students and make education a little more meaningful and personable. And in this online learning environment, that is going to be so crucial to getting to know your students and what they like and don't like, and finding pathways to engage them. And that's been kind of a nice little offshoot that has occurred with Flipgrid. So we're going to take a look at launching Flipgrid. It's very simple. You're just going to go to flipgrid.com, and it's that easy. It is completely free. You just need to sign in with either a Google account or a Microsoft account. So it's completely free for educators. If you were invited to a Flipgrid, you would get a code and enter that here. They've put up a lot of nice resources for you here. So you have remote learning resources here. What I want to just little thing that I've learned from working with this, it always pops up new windows. So you can see we were in this window. When I clicked that link, it popped up a new window. So just be aware of that. Here are a ton of resources. Again, you have that learning from home, getting started guides. They provide 30-minute Flipgrid professional development. All of these are free to you. Activity Center is great if you want to do some pre-made things and just try out Flipgrid and you're not sure about creating your own first. You have things are grouped by ages, by topics. So you have a lot of access to things that are created. So we're going to do educator login because I've already have an account created, but I'm going to show you what that would look like. So how this is set up is you have grids, and you want to think as your grid as your classroom. And then the two big things are grids and topics. A grid is your classroom, and your topics are kind of your assignments or your discussions or things that you would be giving to that class or that grid. So when you launch in here and sign up, it's going to ask you to create a grid. So here's my name, Mrs. Jury's class, and then it's going to give you, you're going to make a code. These are customizable. So as you can see, it's flipgrid.com, but then I was able to use my name and maybe my room number. So that I love that about Flipgrid, is that you can make that personal. Now you're going to have 3 different types of grids to choose from in setting this up. And they're just different permissions, and let me explain what each of them are. So you can have a school email. This one, it gets used most often. It keeps everything in house. It uses your school's tenant as a verification step. But what you're going to need to do, if you chose that one, you have to go in here and put all your school domains. So for example, my email is at usmie.com. So I would make sure I put usmie.com or at usmie.com so that anyone in my organization can do that. I just want to make you aware, if you do that, make sure that sometimes teachers have different domains and students have different domains. If you don't include their domain, they will not be able to log into your grid. The second one is student ID. Now here's especially great for the little ones. You can put in their name and you can create an identifier for them. So here you can see IDs, it's 2+ characters. So you can create that for your students and give that to them and customize that for them. And that might be a little simpler than them having to remember their email. Then down here, the last one is it becomes public. So this is anybody with any email can join. It's great for larger audiences or doing professional development. So if you don't want to be locked in with a certain email type, then you're going to want to do the educator learning community. You can create passwords as an optional layer of security. So then down here you have some more options. You can have your grid as hidden or active. So if you're not ready to launch it yet and you're just working on it, you might want to keep that hidden. And then some of these are just personal preference. How often do you want to get notifications? Daily? Never? I'll just check it when I check it. Every time there's a new video. Now think about that. If you're a high school teacher and you've got 125 kids, you may not want it every time there's a video. So that's your choice. So you want to just look through here. This is a great little option. You can have captions. So many students respond with the videos that if you need, you can add captions if you have a population of students that may need that. So down here, then you pick a picture that you want or an image, and then we'll update that grid. So like I said, when you log in, you make your free account, you're going to need to make a grid. Now, with that, I want to just say, they're coming out with so many new features in August. In August, you will be able to create a topic without a grid. So right now, to create a topic, you have to make that grid or that classroom first. As in August, you won't have to do it. Can you? Yes, but you won't have to. So just if you log in August and go, what was that lady talking about? This is all different. There is some changes coming. So I just want to, I'll probably say that about 10 more times so that you're prepared for it. So what happens is they're going to do an auto generate of a topic for you. So you'll see this hello one get posted. Before we do that, I just want to go through kind of top to bottom, give you the little tour. So you're going to go through and you're going to find my activity. I have 2 grids, 9 topics, 0 videos I've made, videos this week. So it's going to just kind of give you what's going on. If you have achievements or codes, you can do this. If you take the Flipgrid classes in the Microsoft Education Community Center, you can have those listed as achievements here. I've taken those classes. You just have to upload a video talking about what you learned from the class, and then they mark it as an achievement here. My grids, it's going to show you, here are the 2 grids that I've created. Mixtape. What mixtapes are is when your students start responding with their videos, you will actually have an option in that where their responses are to add them to a mixtape. So back in the day, 100 years ago, when I was a teenager, we would listen to the radio and add those songs. And so that you're going to do the same thing here. As you see your kid's video, you can click and add them to a mixtape. And what it'll do is make a collage. So you might want to use that to say, these are the responses I'm looking for to get an A, and make a little mixtape. Or you can use it at the end of the year for maybe an end of the year presentation and put, the highlights of the kids work together. So there's a lot of great uses for mixtapes, and you can control the order they're in. It's really a lot of nice options to highlight your students' work. Grid Pals. Let me show you this. This is really cool. It shows you teachers that you can connect with that are using Flipgrid. So right now I'm hidden, so it doesn't have my view available to the public, but you can use it by grade. You can pick by subject. So maybe you want to connect with somebody who is teaching the same thing you are. And, you can share libraries and there's a lot of great uses for this in connecting with teachers across the country. You can do across the world too. Disco Library. This one is, I think, so neat. Not only are teachers creating content, but you have content from the Met. You have content from Microsoft. You have content from, see here you have Hacking STEM. You have the National World War II Museum. There are so many amazing connections, and and resources on here. And these are all pre-made ones. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. As start maybe using some pre-made ones, customize them, start customizing them, and then maybe you will start creating your own Flipgrids to throw out to students. Shorts. These are great. You just make little recordings for your students. So maybe you want to make a teacher exemplar and show them how you want something done. I'm going to use the short right now to show you what recording a video would look like. I'm not going to actually record the video because of my device. I can't have two cameras competing, but we'll do everything but press record. So if I go in here and record a short, you have some really great features, and this is why hello everyone, and this is why the students love this. So as a teacher, you can set your record time and how long you want your kids to talk. You can change your backgrounds and what it looks like, and maybe you're having a crazy day, you need a little filter on there, I get you. You can add text, and you can pick what that's going to look like. So maybe I'll go classic this morning. It's Monday morning. Not feeling that adventurous. And you can move this around and put it different places. You can change the color. Maybe you want to change the background. And then if I get out of this, I can move it where I want it. We can go out of here. You can add stickers. Maybe I'm not feeling like talking and having everyone see me. So I want to this is so great. So many kids who are shy love this, and they can just have the happy face talk for them and do that. Let's go back here to draw. Now if you have a touch screen, great. I'm using my mouse and I'm drawing with my mouse, which is not delightful, and hopefully you can do it better than I can. You have access to a whiteboard or a blackboard, and then you can clear your boards. You can do custom stickers. Then also here, it's called sticky notes. So I can say, one of my big things is forgetting to press record. So I can say, remember, if I could spell, we'll just press record. And somebody give the dog a bone. He's barking in the background. I don't know if you all can hear that. So the nice part about the stickers is, the sticky notes is no one can see them but the speaker. So it's really helpful for your kids who might be shy, who might be nervous. They can put a whole slew of sticky notes down the side to remind themselves of their talking points, of what they want to say. And then when they press record, it doesn't show up. It's only there for the speaker. So I love that. And let me tell you, if it comes out for Teams anytime soon to help myself, I will be all over that. So I'm going to exit out of this. But all I would have to do now is press record. When you get done recording, though, it's going to ask for a selfie. And the point of the selfie is that becomes your thumbnail. So that's what gets posted in your response, is you're going to see that thumbnail, and then that's what they would click on to then view your response in your video. So let's get out of that. And then we're going to go back here to my grids, and we're going to look at our options here. So in our grid, we have some really neat things. There's your flip code. You can send it to students, and anytime you can see this, this is what the students will see. So if we click this, when our students log in, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see hi, and this is how they're going to respond to that article. Again, you see Immersive Reader. There's that book with the speaker. You have that available to you in here. Then students to respond to this will click the plus sign and do their recording. So let me go back to my grids. I want to go in here, and I'm going to show you there's different ways to share this topic or this grid to a student. You can share by sending a copy of the link, a QR code. You can embed it, share to Microsoft Teams, share to your Google Classroom, or share to Remind. And then when I share that grid, it's going to share the grid, and all the topics. So if you don't want to do that, I'll show you how we can just share topics too. So here is where you can add a co-pilot. That's if you need a co-teacher. You can duplicate the grid. Maybe you're a science teacher and you have 3 periods and you just want to duplicate it for each one. They really recommend making a grid for each classroom. For example, especially for the upper high school, middle school. If you're teaching 125 students, you don't want all 125 videos going into one place. It can be overwhelming. So to have them into each class, and that way too, if something goes really well, one class and you want to keep going for the other periods, great. If something is awry, then you have the flexibility to change it for those other grids. So here's your grid notifications, Teams integration, export the data or delete. So let's go in here and take a look at our grid, and we're going to go look at some of these topics. So when I get to the individual topic, you can see right here I have no responses. This is just a demo I built. You can make I can make this active, frozen, or hidden. So again, if I'm working on it, I don't want the kids to see it yet, I can hide that from them. In share, you have a lot of the same options. You can share just this topic and not the whole grid. And again, we have those similar options. Now, guest mode is really a great option if maybe you have an author that's coming to speaking to your students and you want your students to respond using a Flipgrid. Well, you can add someone as a guest, and they can respond just to your students in that specific topic. Or maybe you're doing presentations and big reports or a big thing at your science fair parents are attending. You can add the parents in guest mode and they can respond to students. So it has some great, guest mode has some great options. You can hear another option to add the co-pilot or co-teacher. And we just went through our share. Let's go look at our actions. This is where you can add your guest speakers as well, record a response. A lot of times teachers will record a response as an example of what to do. You can add, if you really like what you created, you're getting great responses, and you want to add it to the Disco library, you can do that. Hide the topic, move the topic, duplicate. So let's go look at a topic a little closer. I'm going to pick a different one. So say we're going to go here to maybe you're doing oh my goodness, I'm losing my words here. Like a warm up or a class to get to know the students kind of activity. So when you're creating a topic, you'll be asked to give a title, a description. Then you're going to say how long you want the students to respond. And that you have up to 10 minutes that they can respond. So that's your discretion. If you want moderation, video moderation, this is your choice. So what it is you will get sent the video and then you will decide whether you want to post it. So depending how your digital citizenship is with your students, that can be at your discretion. So here, I want to go in here and see if, so you can add GIFs, you can add, this is called the focus. So this is where you're going to get that little thumbprint that's going to kind of be your tag for the kids to catch. So, and then here you have other things you can attach. You can add, I want to go, you know what, we're going to do this. So you can attach a lot of different things. You can attach documents, you can attach videos. You have a ton of options. I want to just show you, if I delete this focus, we have a choice of what we can add as the focus. You could record yourself and do that explanation of what you're looking for. You can upload a video. You can upload images. The GIF, that's what we just deleted, was the GIF that was attached to this. Maybe you just want to add an emoji. But I want to show you this down here. You can add anything from a Microsoft product. You can add a Word document, a PowerPoint, a OneNote, anything that's linked. you also have that access from Google. So it can be a doc, it could be a slide, it can be a form. So anything that you have, Kahoot, Wakelet, all of these things are options. Anything that you can get a link to, you can embed in this. So if we go back here, let me just add, let me see if I can get that little GIF back. I'm going to say never ending story. Oh, if I am not feeling great today. And let's see if we can get that to pop back up. And there we go. There it is. So I'll select that, put that back in. And then you have down here other options. Do you want it hidden? Do you want it to launch and freeze dates? Do you want the students to record videos and selfies? Selfies only, videos only? So remember what I showed you how to record? It was going to ask for that selfie afterwards. Here's where you can change some of those things. Students can trim and rearrange their video clips. So all of these are at your discretion for what will work best for yourself. Here's the option for sticky notes, no sticky notes. So you have a lot in the way of permissions. Again, I want to point out this one, especially student-to-student replies. That's up to you. Do you want the students to be able to reply to each other? Do you want students to be able to like each other's videos? So take a look at these permissions. You have a lot of things you can customize, and then you have feedback that can be customized as well. So once you have it the way that you like it, you'll update your topic, and then here we go. So here you can click this, you can see how your students are going to see it and see the student view. So when they log in, this is our grid at the top. Here's their topic, and then they will go and do their response. So do we have any questions about Flipgrid before we move on? I'm going to go back here to our chat. I'll take my video so y'all can see me. Let me go back up here. What it would look like from the students. Okay. Oh, for the students to go to office.com. Yes, I can totally show you that. Topic. Link videos. I think I showed that. I hope. Is each topic a different? Each topic is a different assignment. Let me go back here and show you that, and then I will show you office.com, and we'll go from there. So in here, if you, let me get out of the student view and go back here. So if I go back to my grids, I am here and I can, I don't want to add a new grid. We're going to add a new topic. So here is add new topic. So if I go in, click add new topic, this is where I'm going to get that blank where I can fill everything in and I can go through and choose. And then if you launch more options, that's where you're going to get the more detailed. So I hope that answers your question about topics. So if we go to office.com, it is where you can find all of the OneNote, the class notebook. This is where everything lives. So it will ask you to log in with your email. And your email and your student's email is your access to this per your school district subscription. So they should be able to access this. You have, now every district is different. I'm in a tenant that allows, I'm like I get stuff before everybody else. I kind of a little bit of a guinea pig in my tenant. So I may have stuff that you may not have. Districts, sometimes for protection of the kids, for safety, until they approve certain apps, they will only roll out certain things. So if there's something when you log into your Office 365 through office.com that you do not see, you'll just need to follow your school district's protocol for getting approval. So with that, I'm going to just bounce back to Teams one more time and see Can students show their screen and not their face? Yeah, they can use all the different filters. They could just stand to the side of the video. They could put the video facing the wall and just record their voice. So there is those options. They can turn off their camera and not use their camera. So students will have, oh, did that flip around on me? Hang on us. I want to make sure I didn't, nope, we're good. Okay, so I think my camera is going wonky. You're seeing my window. Let me get that flipped around. Okay, now that's being funny on me. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll play with that later. We're going to move on to, let me see if I've new. Okay, so there are people here. Are you guys recording this training so that we can watch it again? Yes, this training is being recorded. Oh, I want them recording their screens to see the steps in a program. Let's talk later. I want to find out more what you're talking about so I can answer that question. I'm not sure what you're asking me. We'll come off mic at the end, Michelle, and I can see how I can directly answer your question a little bit better. Are there any more questions with Flipgrid before we move on? Do you mean a screen share like on Zoom? Okay, I'm trying to, Michelle, would you be able to come off your mic and explain? Because I want to be able to answer you, because it seems like other people might have that question as well.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of times when we're in a video with another kid, like in a large classroom, we'll let them control the screen so we can see the steps that they're doing in a process.
Okay.
In Flipgrid, can they switch it from their view to the screen view so that their Flipgrid recording is showing their 3 or 4 steps in a process, like completing a math program in OneNote or something like that?
Well, I would use the whiteboard feature and have them just write on the whiteboard and not, and keep all their steps on that whiteboard.
Then I guess that's what I'm asking. I didn't understand how they could record in Flipgrid, how to do that.
So I think if they're using the whiteboard or the blackboard and then, using whatever color pens they want on it, it will record their whiteboard, is my understanding.
Got it. I'm just not understanding how to do that myself.
Okay. Let me go back to Flipgrid and I'll see if we can make that a little clearer for you.
And that's if everybody else wants that too. I don't want to manipulate their time.
Well, you know what? Why don't we do this? We're hitting that hour mark and we're in here for 2 hours. So why don't we take a break to the 9 o'clock hour and let everybody get a cup of coffee, take a couple minute break. I'll stay on and answer questions, and then we'll, before we go too much further, if you want to stay on and listen to these answers, great. If you need a 5-minute break, let's take that now. And I know a cup of coffee is always good this time of day. So let's go. We'll meet back at 9 o'clock if anyone needs a break. If not, we're going to answer questions between now and then. So I'm going to go back here. Let's go back to, let's make a short. And let me see if I can turn my camera off and we'll just play for a minute. So my camera is off, so maybe that won't be competing. I'm just trying to think the best way to not mess up this for everybody. So if we start a short, let's pull up the whiteboard. And so we're going to make this a whiteboard. So see, you don't see me anymore. And I can go through and just, 2 + 4. And I think I can, just record that. It's also too, there's switch camera. Let me see if it'll do it. I hope okay. So 2 + 4 = 6. And then we're gonna say 5 + 2 = 7. And then let's stop recording. We'll pause it. Let's go to next and let's
So then I see how it has a whiteboard option. Does it have a screen share option? So let's say they're taking a Microsoft class.
So no. Now I can, if I go to next, I could send it. So there's the selfie. It's going to ask for your selfie. Next. Yeah, it had the whiteboard up, so it didn't do the selfie. So it did not, because I was looking at that and there was an option to export it, but it wasn't an option to save it. So here's like that download. Here's where you can embed it. They can send you the link, the QR code to watch it. They can add it to Teams, but you can't share it like a screen share, like we would in Teams. So I guess if you wanted to do a screen share, I would think Teams would be a better option for that. And I would think, like, for example, let me stop sharing this screen and I can share a whiteboard in Teams. And then we can just do this in Teams with the whiteboard. And then go that way. So I think it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna do what you want it to, is my point. So right now this would make everybody in the presentation be able to collaborate on it. Would this suit your purpose?
I mean, for different things, yes. I'd love to get off of Screencastify for some things and Microsoft teach it like solely in Microsoft, but it's just not a function right this second. But it does some things, just not others.
So you could now, so are you looking to just, if you did Flipgrid, you could record that and share it. The kids just wouldn't be able to interact with you.
Absolutely. So here's what I'm looking at. And then I'm going to leave this topic so other people can ask.
That's okay.
We spend a lot of time in virtual settings trying to get kids together, like in Teams or in a Canvas or something like that.
Right.
Flipgrid would allow them on their own pace and on their own time to record a few steps so that we can see that they know what they're doing without occupying a whole classroom's time, but still having some of that facial interaction and explanation of what they're doing.
Okay, so then what you could do is, if they're technologically a little savvy, they could then screen share their Flipgrid in the team.
Mm-hmm.
With that, so they could do those couple steps in Flipgrid, then you could give in, so up here in people, I can give permissions of who can share their screen.
True, but then the whole class has to log in. Like,
no, you could do a meet one-on-one with somebody.
I guess that's what I'm trying to get rid of. The kid that wants to work at 2 a.m. in the morning can work at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So let me ask this. Could they do that video with you? Just simply share it. You can give them feedback and annotate on it and send it back to them. So it's not the two of you live, but you could have that back and forth through the feedback.
And that's what I'm doing through Screencastify right now.
Okay, so you could use Flipgrid in that capacity completely, yes.
Okay.
Yes, if you wanted just that back and forth and feed, yes, I could see that working.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions at this time? Let me go back to, just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let me go back to our chat. Oh, and I know we're not in a Teams meeting, but I have like 30 seconds because it just hit the 9 o'clock hour. There are a lot of new fun features that just came out, like Together mode. So it would, I don't know if you've seen any postings for it lately or anything, but it's been really fun because anybody who, I don't know why my camera won't flip back around. Sorry about that. I'll shut that off. So if we came off camera right now, it does those where it has the animations behind us and we can all look like we're in a stadium together or at a coffee shop together. So just take a peek. Those are coming out to you shortly in the next month. They're already out in my tenant. So I just wanted to let you know to keep peeking around. There's a lot of fun stuff that has been coming out recently. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. And we're going to take a look. Let me just, before we leave Flipgrid one more time, in the Microsoft Education Center, there are 2 courses you can take, plus some of those courses. There's also courses made by Dyslexia in there. So there's a basic Engage with Flipgrid, which is just a great overall review of Flipgrid. And then you can earn 500 points and a badge for that. And then there's Beyond the Basics. So 2 really great Flipgrid courses for you in the Microsoft Education Center. Again, all free for teachers. So I want to move over to Translator now. These tools, I think, are just an amazing game changer. We can have over 60 languages. There's apps for mobile devices, Windows Desk app, one-to-one conversations. You can use it for large presentations, one-on-one, PowerPoint. And then what I love is the content becomes the focus and not the language. I just have to tell you, let me change topics for 1 second before I forget. This reminded me with the app and the mobile device, if your students are using Flipgrid and they want to use their phone or iPad, it works best if they download the app. So again, it's free to download, but you might want to encourage them, instead of going through the browser for Flipgrid, to download that app. So let's take a look at Translator. So here you can see Translator, it's a you can have a conversation, you can translate in real time. So one person speaking in English, and then you're going to see the Spanish translation on their phone. Here is some of the features that are not only in the app, but also in the desktop version. You've got that live chat. You can image translation. So if there are signs or different things in different languages, you take a photo of it and it will translate that image. You have offline translation where you can download that if your desktop allows. And then there's also over 200 phrase books that you have access to. They work online and offline as well. So here I want to show you today, this is a good use for this Translator app for parent-teacher conferences. And they're not going to show you on this video, but if you are in a face-to-face conversation with someone and you're using your phone and the app on your phone to do the translation, you put your phone down, and it can be a single use where you use one phone for both people to speak. And the screen is split in half. So the one person sees the translation they need, and the other person sees the translation that they need, all in that phone real time. So they do a really beautiful job with that. So take a look at this, and it'll show you how to conduct a parent-teacher conference.
I'll be showing how to demonstrate a multilingual conversation using the Microsoft Translator app, which is free on iPhone or Android. First, as an educator, I'm on the left-hand phone. I'm going to click the Translator app here to launch Translator. The right-hand phone shows the parent and will represent the multilingual conversation I'll be having. So you'll want to click the button with the 2 little people on the right here, and I've just clicked that. Now, first thing I'm going to do is click the Start button. So to start this conversation as an educator, it has my name. My name is Mike, and I'm going to be speaking English, and I click Enter. And it's going to generate this little conversation code, a 5-digit code that I can send to the parent. I can also have a QR code. So I'm going to send in mail or tell that parent that I'm going to be joining the conversation and click Enter. Now we're going to switch to the right phone, which is the parent. So the parent here is going to be Amanda, and she's going to also launch Translator and click the little 2-person button right there. Now Amanda got this 5-digit code from me, the teacher, so she's going to be typing in PJARQ, and that is the 5-digit code, and she's going to click Join to join in this session. And there's her name, Amanda, and Amanda speaks Chinese, so she's going to click Enter. Now both of us are in this conversation remotely, so I'm going to start talking as the educator, and I'll click the microphone button to start talking. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for joining this parent-teacher conference about your daughter.
谢谢，我很高兴今天能来参加。
Your daughter has been doing a really good job doing remote learning, and we're glad to be working with her.
非常感谢，我们也非常幸运有这么好的老师。
So it's just that easy to have a multilingual parent-teacher conference using the free Translator app.
So in the Translator app, I want to let you know in the last slide, Microsoft has done, I think, a great service for teachers. They put together parent invitation letters to those conferences in all 60 languages. So I have a link to those in the last slide. And what you would do is you would choose the language that you know your family speaks in. And then you can enter that 5-digit code he referred to. You can enter your name and the day and time that you wanted to meet with that family. And it would send them all of that information of how to log in, how to download the free app, and communicate to them how this whole process would work in their language. So I have a link to those at the end if you are interested in those parent letters. I also included all of the compliance and the safety and certifications. So Microsoft is really big on making sure that everything is compliant and safe and following like the HIPAA laws and all of that, and that they do meet those needs. So the compliances are there, and then the letters for the parents to communicate to them. So the next thing is if you want to go a little bit bigger, this is called Presentation Translator. So what this does is if you're presenting a PowerPoint presentation, they can view the subtitles live. So it will record everything that it will in real time translate everything I'm saying into subtitles at the bottom in the language of their choice. So it becomes, but it also has this interactive feature to it. Again, you would give them that QR code or the 5-digit code. They would log in with their phone, choose the language of their choice, but there's also an added benefit of a question and answer portion. So it really gives you that town hall feeling. You can use it in your classroom. So that as you're doing a lecture, students can follow along in their language. So it really has a lot of great features. And with the customized speech recognition, it has AI, that artificial intelligence built in, and it really starts to learn you the way you speak. It also learns the educational language you're using, and it just gets better the more you use it. So here is an example of how it is used for a back-to-school night to interact with families.
So there's this app.
Whenever you speak,
and it's breaking language barriers.
You want to transfer an idea to another person.
This is Chinook Middle School. And they're speaking with parents like never before.
You've downloaded that Microsoft Translator app. Enable your phone to take a picture of this code, and then once you join, you're able to pick your language you'd like to have it speak.
They're trying to break the multi-language barrier by holding a conversation together.
In the bottom of our presentation, the translation just coming over in English.
How does it work?
The sound waves are picked up by the microphone.
There was a question, and the library is open during tutorial.
So these parents speaking 9 different languages can hold one conversation together. They're using Microsoft AI technology, including a machine learning technique based on a form of computing called neural networks, inspired by human brains. Basically, it learns to translate based on real-world speech, not rules programmed in advance. That's Russell, the principal. He said he knows that
engaging the parent community leads to better outcomes for our students.
And at this school, they're using tools to bridge that communication gap.
It brings voices from abroad and makes us neighbors of people.
Have you ever felt a real need to do this? To communicate an idea to someone?
So it's really a great way to meet students' needs. I want to switch gears. I'm actually going to switch to a different PowerPoint presentation now too. There is let me switch out of this. I have another presentation I have prepared for you because we have such a great amount of time. I'm so excited. There is a new product out right now, and it's called PowerPoint Live. And it is another great translation tool, and it's very engaging for your students. So again, it can be reached through office.com. It can be reached with using PowerPoint. And let me show you about this product. So when you log into PowerPoint, you have your classic ribbon across the top. And slideshow is, so if you were going to launch the PowerPoint presentation, you would go in here using your subtitles, and that's how you would launch the PowerPoint presentation. But to launch PowerPoint Live, we're going to go here to present live. When you click on this caret, you're going to get an option to present to people only in your organization. So anybody with your school tenant, your email, will have access. You won't, people from outside your organization cannot join. If you wanted to join with anyone, so it doesn't matter whether they have a Google account, a Microsoft account, then you would want to go with that anyone option. So then when you click it, it's going to launch the screen. So you will have people, they have two ways of joining. They can join with this QR code, or they can join at the top. And as they start to join, you'll see this number increase. So what I would like to do, if you'd indulge me, if you have your phone available and you would like to, we can do the rest of this in PowerPoint Live, and you can see how this works. So what I'm going to do is, just like I said, I'm going to go to slideshow. I'm going to, I'm in the simplified ribbon. If you're in the simplified ribbon, then you need to, I got to switch over this. Hang on. Let me go over here. Here's our start the subtitle. So this is where we would go in to do the PowerPoint Live. What I'm going to do is make this really simple for you guys, because I keep telling you to go in through office.com. I'm going to do that myself. So we're going to go into office.com. We're going to go to our PowerPoint, and this way it will walk you through step by step. It'll be the same way you guys would go in. So into office.com, went to my PowerPoint. I'm going to go in here through slideshow. So there's my present live button. And then I'm going to present live. It's going to generate that code. If you want to join us live, check it out. You can. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I'll give it a minute and see if anyone wants to join us live. And then I'm going to show you all the fun features where kids can interact. You can get all the translation features. Let's see if we can get at least one person to see if they'll join us. I know I kind of took you guys by surprise. I forgot to tell you to have your phones available. We'll see if we can get anyone to join. So up here's the code. And then otherwise you can just take a picture with your camera and we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to move on. It's okay if nobody joined. All right, the only, just to let you know, by joining, there's no obligation. You're not seen, you're not anything. It just gives you an option. So what I'll do is I'll keep moving. So as you can see right now, I'm talking and it's translating at the bottom. Up top, it still has the code. If you wanted to join there, you could. Let's skip through a bunch of these slides and get to the meat of it. So we did our joining. You saw that screen. In here, this is where students could join or families can join and change their language. You can pick up to 60 languages. It's transcribed real time, as you can see at the bottom. Students can give live feedback. So if people were logged in right now and they liked something I was saying, they could press the thumbs up, or the heart, and you would see little thumbs up rising up for here like little bubbles, or you would see the heart rising up like little bubbles. Students also have the option that they can zoom in on a screen. They can they can go back if they need to see a previous slide. They cannot go ahead. They only have the option to go back and review. In the next slide, these are the options for the presenter. You can use your microphone to turn on and off. It would also stop your subtitles. Be aware of that. You can toggle back and forth between your slides. You can have your slide sorter just like you would when you're in your regular presentation. You can also use the markings and annotate on your slides, but be aware if people are joining visually, like like if you join right now, you're not in the same room with me, so you wouldn't see my annotating. It's only for the in-person live view to see the annotating. Now I could go down here to my little captions option and I could turn captions on or off. I also could have, and that would change it for the in-person. I can't change the language though in person. You can also have the option to turn reactions on and off. In that last button is where all of your options are. I could also return to that home screen that launched with the little code to have people launch it that way. So, you know, so a lot of times what I'll ask people is, would you use PowerPoint Live in your classroom? You know, it's a great thing to have with the translation features and then the live interaction. Students get a big kick out of that too. So I've given you guys a lot of information. I know, so I want to, had no access. Oh no, I'm so sorry. It says no access. Okay, let me see if I can go back in since we had interest and I can actually share the screen with you again. Let's go back to the welcome screen and let's see if it's still working. It's saying no access. Is it still saying that for y'all? It says we do not have access live. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to end this and let's see if we relaunch it, if it makes, so I'm going to end the session. Just so you know, when you end this session, that code gets destroyed. If you, for some reason, just close your window, but you don't end the session, the code gets destroyed after 30 minutes. All right, let's try it again. I'm going to go back in. So we're in slideshow. We're going to go to present live. You know what? I wonder if I did. Let me end the session. I may not have clicked all people. So let's go here and make sure we did it for, see, it was only people in my organization. Let's go back to anyone. I'm going to double check and make sure anyone was clicked. There we go. So see, even we have to, let's see if it works now. Try it now. And we'll see if that number goes up. I had marked it for, there we go. Spectacular. Oh, how fun. All right, you're making my day, everybody. All right, so let me go. I'm going to go. I'll leave this another minute and see if anybody else wants to join. Oh, good. I see the reactions working already. Let me go back up so that you can see this is what's available to you as someone joining. So you can choose your languages. You can see there was a slight delay, but now the translation's happening. Go in, play, pick some different languages. Love the emojis. So I wanted to just give this to you. This is new. This has only been out a short time, and I didn't know how many people were aware of it, and I just thought we did so good on time in covering our main portions of what we wanted to get through that I'm kind of taking advantage of having this extra time to show you this new product for Microsoft. So check it out. All right, so now I'm going to ask you the question. Would you use PowerPoint Live in your classroom? Give me your emojis. What do you think? Is it something you think your kids would like? Is it something you would like to use? Awesome. What I love too is you have that little confused guy as an option too. So if you have a student and you just did a math problem, yes, little confused guy, thank you. I love it with the little eyebrow to the side. So it's not, doesn't have to be all lovey and wonderful. You know, let the kids be like, I have no clue what you're talking about, lady, and or gentleman, and let them have that feedback and let it be safe and okay. Yeah, and there's the surprised one too. So I'm going to just go back to those real quick. So you have your thumbs up, your heart, smile. This is your surprised. This is your applauding, like it, and this is your confused guy. So you'll see their little emojis. Try them all, check it out. It's super easy, but just make sure you don't make the mistake I did and make sure it's accessible to all your students. So if you do run into it, check that and make sure you have it set so that everybody could join it. All right, I'm going to get out of this. I'm so glad we were able to make that work. I will throw this PowerPoint in there as well to give you access. After the presentation, you get feedback. So an email will get sent to you and it will tell you your presentation score. It will tell you, so when you get done, now you can disable this if you don't want it there. And then, but if it'll say which slides got the most reactions, what kind of reactions did they get. So this might be a fun way too, depending on your class, for your students to present over this year and get that fun feedback from your students. So I will give this to you. Don't use this code though. I can put a new code in there. But this is a demo of someone else doing it. There's two gentlemen I like to follow. They're both Microsoft employees, and they're both giving demos in these links, and then some resources. But again, don't use this code. It's not accurate. I didn't know if I was going to have time to show you all this today. I can update the code and put this in the file section as well for y'all. So let me escape out of this. And while we're here, so we're going to end our session. That way that code gets destroyed. And I'm going to take advantage of a few more minutes and show you rehearse with the coach. So rehearse with the coach. If you're going to be using these PowerPoints and the translation features with your kids, what it'll do is it is a great presentation tool for your kids. And it will listen to you as you're talking. So if you start talking way too fast and you keep going blah, 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 and you're going so fast and the thing doesn't know what you're saying, it will come up with a little speaker and say, slow down. You need to start slowing down because you're talking way too fast. And I don't know why it's not coming up with you're not talking way too fast because I'm talking way too fast. And here we go. So now it's saying, I need to speak a little bit slower. And it starts to coach you into what you do. If I start saying like, it will say I'm using too many fillers. So then when you stop, you will get a report showing that you are done. And let me see if it'll let me get out of this. And let's see if, yep, nope, we're done. And then when you go back in it, it will give you a report of to how you did, what you need to improve on. So this might be something if you're going to have your kids doing the PowerPoint live presentations and you want to use that, you might want to have them, some teachers have the kids use the rehearse coach. And then once they practice and get all greens, because you can see how that went to the reds when I was speaking too fast, then they go on and present. And a lot of teachers really like that. They say they've gotten the best presentations from their students. Okay. So I'm just looking at our questions because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. You said that we could access the presentation as well as others in Office 365. I'll show you that again. Yes, absolutely. So if we go back here let me get out of this. If we go back to, so here's that rehearse coach. Here's that little report we get, and I can rehearse it again, or I can end it. So it's a great feedback for the kids, and nobody needs to see it, but it, you know, so many kids, public speaking is going to be a huge part of, especially with working online. So if we go back to office.com, here it is. You can see PowerPoint. I can launch it right here from PowerPoint. I actually like this. I think it's easier to access PowerPoint Live and the other features through office.com than even the desktop. Because in the desktop version, you could kind of see for a second I was struggling. If you have the simplified ribbon up, then the stuff, those things that features I just showed you show up in different places. So sometimes they'll show up in view where it's consistent in the browser. So depending upon the ribbon. So if I go back in here, I could do it with this presentation as well. I go to slideshow, it's not there because I'm in the wrong ribbon. So that part gets confusing for kids. Oh, I'm really out of the ribbon now. So if I go here to home, I'm trying to think, now I'm in the I got to get out of the simplified ribbon. Then I could get over to the slideshow and do those presentations. But I just clicked it out of the slide. Anyway, so that's where the desktop is wonderful. You have a little bit more in there, but with more in there can sometimes create a little bit more chaos because you get that simplified ribbon that then some of this stuff gets put into view and then versus it being under slideshow. So it's just something to think about. So you have sometimes this gets overwhelming with kids, where I think in the browser version, let me go back to the browser version, it's more simplified. It's easier to find things. So this is that simplified ribbon. Let me show you, this will be easier to show you. So if I take out of that simplified ribbon and go back to that classic, then it's not you can see slideshow's not even there as an option now. So everything now is going to be in that view. And if it's grayed out, give it a second. It just took a minute to launch. So that's where I'm saying, like, you want to make sure if your students are struggling, you want to see if they're in that simplified ribbon or in the classic ribbon, and it'll alter where they're at. But I think it's easier to access all of this through office.com and that browser versus the desktop. So I would almost teach the kids that because I think it's just easier for them. Is Teams feature as well for captioning? Teams does have captioning. So even in our meeting, if you look up here at the top, you have turn on live captions. Now, I can't turn it on for everybody. It would be an individual thing. So you do have captions. You don't have the translations built in here, as far as I'm aware of. Hopefully that would be that, you might have, I mean, let me turn on captions here before I say that. I haven't played with captions much in this. So if I do captions, there might be a way in settings that I can change the language. But I'm not sure if it will translate what I'm saying or just give I think it might just be straight up captions. Now Teams has Immersive Reader built into it. I can present PowerPoint in Teams. I have all of those options within Teams. Are there any other questions I can help you with at this time? I gave you guys a lot of stuff today. All right, I want to just roll back to the PowerPoint, let you know where all of your resources are. Let me just scroll back down here to this last one. So that is your leaving. Here is your achievement code for today. If you wanted to log into the Microsoft Education Center, this is your code for today. I guess I will put up shortly and add the PowerPoint Live to our chat today as well. Here's Microsoft Made by Dyslexia, Immersive Reader. You have the parent conference. Those are those, you have information about that. You also have the letters for you to send home for the parent conferences, presentation translation, PowerPoint, through PowerPoint, and then here's your compliance certificates. And then here is the accessibility tools that I have put together for you that has all of that. So that's going to be, it's going to show up as a browser, and you're going to have everything that we went over today. Here's Immersive Reader, the case studies. I'm leaving all of this with you today. Quick start guides, math tools. That's some of that inking and that translations we did. Microsoft Learning, here's that chart that's continually getting updated. This is a live link to that. Presentation Translator, here's information on that. Your compliance certificates are in here too. Basic Translator, here's tons of information. And then if you want more Microsoft resources, they're here. And you just go to another OneNote that I put together. That'll have information on PowerPoint Live. So you will see here down here if you want more on PowerPoint Live, how to use it. There's a demo, an overview about the feedback forms. It's all here. So I'm leaving all of this with you today. I hope these are good takeaways for you. How do we have access to this presentation? So if you go in here, it's going to be in when we exit out. All right, let me show you how to do this. So if I go into Teams and I go into my Teams proper, here's our chat for that we're in right now. And in our, it'll create a chat for you on the side. So you can see what everyone's been texting here. If you go up to Files at the top, you're going to see today's file. As soon as we end, I will add the PowerPoint presentation to here too. And you will have that, and I can put links into those OneNotes as well in there. So after this, just access the chat, go up to Files, and you'll have access to all of that. Okay, Canvas, I can't help you with that. So let me see. Oh, you did not get the presentation from last week. Oh, wait, am I reading that correctly? So in our presentation from last week, we did, if you go back to the chat, so if you didn't get the recording, is that what we're saying? Let me see. I'll make sure I get all of that to Amanda today, and she can make sure you all get those recordings and presentations from this week and last week. I'll make sure I get that out to her today, and then she can add that to Canvas. You want the code again? Absolutely. Let me get today's code. I will pop that in the chat. Let me see if it'll let me do that. I don't, hang on. Let me escape the presentation mode of it, and I will get you there. Oh, just press something I shouldn't have. Okay. I'll put this in the chat, and then you'll have the code for today. And you just log into Microsoft.com, create that account for yourself. Amanda did address for Canvas course, and she put an email in for you to, a bit.ly for you to go to. Great, thank you so much for addressing that. If there's any other questions and you want to come off your microphone, I'll be happy to answer them. If not, I'll give you the gift of time before your next conference. I will stay on for a little while and and answer questions if there's anything that I can help you with. How do we integrate these tech tools using Canvas? So in that OneNote where it says more Microsoft resources, I'm going to give you actually my bit.ly, and I think maybe some people are having issue reaching that OneNote. Let me go back in here. I have a bit.ly account, which will just let you access that OneNote. I did put some Canvas, hang on, let me get this here for you, Microsoft resources. I have some things of addressing how to integrate with Teams in there, and I will show you that. This is the bit.ly where you can access the OneNote. I leave it up, I add to it all the time. And just like even this weekend, I was adding more resources to it. So I just want to, so with the Canvas, let me go back here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the Canvas. Let me go to my more Microsoft tools. I put a couple things in over the weekend because there's been a lot of questions about Canvas. Now, some of the things are going to have to be, are something that would have to be addressed through, so I have in Teams. If you go to Teams, you're going to see I have Canvas integration here. So there's a couple links. This one is a document. It's put out by Canvas for integrating Teams. This one is about a 36-minute video. It is with Teams and Microsoft engineers and representatives, and they show you how to do some integrations. So I liked that it was both parties giving their feedback of what is going on between the integrations and how they work together. So check these links out, check the bit.ly, go into Teams, and then you're going to see the Canvas integration. And that should help you with marrying the two together. I'm not sure why it's giving you an error on your Mac because it's just a web browser. Sometimes those O's and zeros might be giving you a glitch. Let me see if I can type it for you and see if maybe copying and pasting might work. See if that helps you. Where do you use the code? So the code is not your district credit for today. That's different. The code for us is, it's for them if you belong to the Microsoft Education Center. You go in here, it's completely free to educators. You just create a free profile, and then under your profile, you can redeem your achievement code here. So again, that's not for your district. It's a separate Microsoft achievement code. And then after 2 hours of doing coursework through the Microsoft Education Center, you will earn a badge as a Microsoft Innovative Expert. So I just want to clarify those codes are different. You need to log in through Canvas. So let's see. The bit.ly, is it my bit.ly you guys are having soft time with, or is it the one? Let me make sure I'm understanding. So that's the bit.ly I put in. I'm just scrolling back through. Is the bit.ly for Canvas that you're having a hard time with, or is it my bit.ly? My bit.ly worked. Okay, good. Okay, thank you so much. Canvas bit.ly. Amanda, would you be able to help with that? I know you said Canvas is having a few issues this morning. Is that part of the issue with the Canvas problems? Oh, I see Canvas bit.ly worked well for that person. Okay, good. All right, maybe the glitch is getting worked out. For PowerPoint Live, can you change the polling survey questions to get international feedback? I presented PowerPoint Live internationally, and I got feedback from the different participants that were all over the world. I had people from the Middle East that were on that presentation, and there didn't seem to be any problem getting feedback internationally. If I didn't answer your question and you want to come off microphone so that I don't want to neglect or miss anybody, please feel free to come off.
I wanted to know about intentional feedback.
In what regard? Like someone actually chatting?
No, I said the PowerPoint Live. Can you change the polling questions for intentional feedback?
So you could add anything you want into that PowerPoint. You can put your questions and gear them towards certain responses. And then that's actually a great idea for in the respect of like I posted that one question. So I think you could tailor it and in how you form that question to get your responses. And then when you get that email at the end, you'll have a recording of what those responses were towards that question. Does that answer what you're looking for? I don't know. So I think in your PowerPoint, if you ask a question, want people to respond with the emojis, the program is recording those and will give you that email feedback afterwards of what the exact responses were.
That works. I was thinking more of the report that pops up at the end of the presentation, I guess, with like how many likes and things of that nature.
Let me pull it up and then we can look at that and maybe let's take a little better look at that and get you an answer to your question. Oh, hang on, I got to go to the other presentation. That one's not doing it. Here we are. So if we go here and look at the presentation, you get an overall score. So they're going to give you feedback on your slide design, speaker skills, interesting content, and audience interaction. And then here it's going to show you your top slides. I think it actually does give you more information than the 3 things I put up. I just wanted to give you a flavoring. So you wanted it per slide. Is that my understanding?
I guess I just wanted it. I was trying to see if it was able, like, if I asked a question, it's like, was the information useful? Did you understand? But I guess you said there was more features, so that would be something that I'll have to play with.
So yes, and I think so when the people log out, so when the sessions ended for the PowerPoint Live, your people who like those 9 or 10 people that logged in actually got asked to fill out a survey, like a quick survey. I can look into if that's possible to tailor that survey. That may be an option, and if it's not, it may be a great option to suggest to Microsoft that we can do that.
That answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else I can help with, anyone? Try and go back to the chat here and make sure When you're reacting to a survey and you use the rating, is there a way to make, for example, 3 questions that fall into one category and one as a final sum? Not that I'm aware of at this time. I'll look and see if I can find some more information about the feedback forms and see if I can post something there for you today and add that to the resources. So if you ever want Microsoft to work on something, you can, when you're in Teams, if you go down to the help and you can go into help, let me go over here. You can go in and go to the about, and you can, is it what's new? One of these lets you have a link to putting out new things. So like suggest, it's called Microsoft Voice. I thought there was a link for it in here. New feature. No, let me go over here. I think it's called Microsoft Voice, and so what happens is things get voted on, and so if someone will suggest something, and then the more votes it gets, Microsoft Voice, let me see, I'm trying to think of the exact term. Microsoft, let me go to support. And then if we go in here to support, I know it's in this area, suggest a feature. What happens is they get voted on. And once they get so many votes and so much momentum, then they go in and then they start, they'll start working on it. I'll get you the exact link for that. So I'll get the feedback link too for Microsoft Voice. I'll get the exact link. I'm having a hard time finding it right now, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll post those in information for you today too. So it says here, again, Canvas has had an issue this morning. A couple of things that could work is to type the bit.ly. Also, trying later today might be better. I cannot complete your attendance for you, but you will have it open for you later. Thank you for today's attendance. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of your sessions today. If there's anything else I can help you with, you always can shoot me an email. Was there a redemption code for last week? Yes, there was. Let me pull that. I have to go to my Microsoft Trainer account and get that. I will post it for last week too. How to use the code? Absolutely, we can totally do that. So if we go over here, let me go to my Trainer because that's where I keep my codes. And let me just get that code for you, and then we'll walk you through how to log in. So guys were my Teams meeting on the 16th. So I have to go to the 16th. Here we are. Here is the code for the Teams meeting on the 16th. I'm going to pop that in the chat right now for anybody who is missing the code for the Teams. Teams code. This was for 7/16 right there. That's the code from last week for anybody who was missing it. Let me go back up here to where we were. Let me see. Let's go back here to the Trainer. So now you're going to go to the Microsoft Education Center. And you're going to it'll say like get started. You can log in just using your school email or a personal email, your choice. And this is free to educators. It'll ask you a couple questions. And then you'll go, once you create your profile, you'll go under here and redeem achievement code. So you'll click that code. You'll insert the code that I gave you in here and click redeem. And that's how you redeem the code. And this is all free to educators. I like to use, the way I like to use this site is I like to go in through courses, and I can just type in here Flipgrid, and it will come up with the Flipgrid courses. So I like to do it that way by just going in and searching specifically for something. But that's how I like to use the Microsoft Education Center. Is there anything else I can help with anyone for today? All right, well, thank you all so much for getting on this at 8 o'clock in the morning. I really appreciate it. I hope you found things that were useful to you. And I guess we'll give you a nice little 10-minute break before your next session starts, or hopefully you have a little more than that. And thank you so much for coming today. Again, reach out to me. I'm going to type my email in here. If you have any questions, if there's anything I can help you with, it's Jennifer Jury at usmie.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. My next session is Thursday. For you guys, I'm doing Sway, and it's another early one from 8 to 10. I'm going to show you how to do Sway. We're going to look at it for the classroom, creating templates for your students, how to use it as a newsletter, all the features that are built into it that are in the starting from a topic, and really showing you how you can use it for your classroom, and then also showing you how you can use it within your school and your community. And then we'll actually look at building Sways so that you'll have a good takeaway and a good understanding of how to use it by the end of the session. So we have a nice session planned for Thursday the 23rd from 8 to 10. Thank you guys for the positive feedback. I really appreciate it. I look forward to work. Your district is so lovely to work with. So we'll look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Have a good day, everybody. I'll stay on for a couple minutes in case there's just any more questions. Otherwise, thank you all so much. Hopefully stay cool with this nice heat. But you're welcome to come off your microphone, and we can just chat if that's easier. You're welcome to text, put it in the chat. I'll get you the PowerPoint live presentations today too. I'm really kind of glad we had a chance to show that to y'all. All right, well, I'm going to close out the session, and thanks so much for coming, and I'll put all that stuff in the chat for you as soon as the meeting's ended. Have a good day.